Jonathan here at Train Yard 317. Today I wanted to do a little tutorial on how to do one of the more popular obstacles from the show, and that is the Salmon Ladder. There's a lot of different versions and techniques to doing the Salmon Ladder, and so we're going to go over a few of those, which ones I like best, and break it down as to where you are starting at, whether you can do 0 pull-ups or 20 pull-ups, and different methods that might suit you best. So first, I have progressions broken down into whether you're a beginner, and for this tutorial, I'm just counting a beginner as anybody that can do from anywhere from 0 pull-ups to 5 pull-ups. So the most important thing if you're in that group is to start working on increasing your number of pull-ups. A great place to start is if you're here at Train Yard, check out Ryan's class, Beginner Calisthenics, also our functional fitness classes. Is another great way to increase your number of pull-ups, or just coming in and doing as many pull-ups as you can with me, George, Brandon, whoever's in here. We're always up for doing some pull-ups. So really just getting that repetition up, and if you can't do any, grab some bands, do some negatives, get up to the bar, just really come down as slow as you can to increase your number of pull-ups. So as you're getting your pull-ups going, you also want to start working on your explosiveness. A lot of that is going to be driving from your knees. So it's not necessarily a good form pull-up, but you're going to drive with your knees to get your hands above the bar. If you can't get your knees to your chest or maybe to your waist even, then you need to start working more on your core. A lot of that kipping comes from your core, so make sure you're keeping good solid core workouts in your routine to work on your kipping. So once you start getting the kipping down, first thing I recommend is to do hand release pull-ups. That's where you do a kipping pull-up and just raise your hands a little bit above the bar. As you feel more comfortable with that, get your hands higher and higher. And if you feel even more comfortable with that, start doing clapping pull-ups. After you do that, I recommend going to the Salmon Ladder and doing the same thing on Salmon Ladder, but start taking the bar with you. So just popping it up, popping it down, popping it up, popping it down. And then once that feels comfortable, start taking it and just popping it out. Get used to moving the bar with you instead of just doing pull-ups on a regular bar. So break it down here. As you can see in the video, you want to make this all one fluid motion. I recommend the kipping motion for beginners. It takes a lot less strength and explosiveness, so it's something that you're more likely to be able to accomplish when you are only doing 2-3 pull-ups. The kipping, there's a lot of into the kipping, a lot of it is the core, so if you can't get your legs high enough, make sure you keep working on your core. Have Amanda here demonstrating how to do the kipping pull-up. See, she throws her legs really high, and at the same time she reaches that peak where her legs are super high, and then she takes the bar and moves it up. A great way to work on this technique is to start by doing it on a fixed bar, just driving your legs up just like you saw Amanda do. And by driving your legs up, it should actually almost force your hands to release from the bar for a fraction of a second. So just work on that before you try it on the Salmon Ladder. It's a very similar technique. Next, I've broken down to intermediates. That's anybody that can do anywhere from 5 to 10 pull-ups. With this, you really need to start working on your explosiveness if you're not getting the Salmon Ladder right now. Explosiveness and techniques. So again, just like with beginners, start working on those hand release pull-ups, and at that point you should probably be able to start getting some clapping pull-ups in. As that feels more comfortable, start working on getting on the actual Salmon Ladder or the little Salmon Ladder, which we have here at Train Yard, which is a great way for beginners and intermediates to get the first Salmon Ladder run, get the motion down. But start working on just taking the bar, driving your knees, hitting the bottom rung from the next rung up. Start doing that, and especially if you can do it on the big Salmon Ladder, then you're set to go on the small Salmon Ladder just by getting the technique down. If you want to do it more strict version, you're going to get on the bar, switch grip or overhand grip, whichever one you prefer. You're going to start off with putting your chest in, and then as you start coming back, you want to start driving your knees at the same time, doing an explosive pull-up at the same time you're driving your knees and your chest is coming back. And then all at once, it has to be all at the same time. As your knees are driving, you're exploding, doing an exploding pull-up. You take the bar out, and the last step is make sure you slam it in. For anybody that is more advanced, you can do 10 plus pull-ups. Really just about technique at that point, maybe a little bit of explosiveness. Hope this helps everybody that's out there trying to get their first Salmon Ladder rung. I definitely recommend you getting in here, trying on our little Salmon Ladder, which the rungs are only 7 inches instead of 12 inches. It'll just help you get the motion down before you go to the traditional Salmon Ladder.